Hello and welcome back. Hopping right on into it. FBI Tugboat here with my man Novanta. Novanta, we have Juixetae taking on Luke Plays Lacrosse in this second round of the upper bracket.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I spent the whole break trying to figure out have you been actually on the tugboat, but that is not this is way more important. Juice Tay off a fresh series W against Luke Plays LAX, who's playing the Chiefs, a team we've seen many times here in this series.
Yes, many times. Many times. What we just got a little Bills versus Bills, then some Bills versus Jets, not once but twice in a row. Juixetae riding with the Jets. Punched his ticket. He's gonna get priority seating if he pays a little bit extra for it, of course.
Yeah, so I'm talking about here. And this already going back to what worked, but it didn't work there. I thought it was going to be a catch, but it was swatted down there by the Chiefs.
Luke plays lacrosse. Defense showing out here in Arrowhead early. We've already seen weeks past the absolute effect that home field advantage here can have for the Chiefs. Now Rogers back in the pocket. Uzoma once again biggin, and now a juke to the right side. This should be able
Oh,
to slows him down a little bit, but
oh.
Uzoma uses the perfect. That's just off the back of thousands of hours of playing Madden and realizing how these computer players do track, like where they go straight line, right? Lined up the defensive player that messed up the tackle, messes up the momentum of the second, and puts this one in for 7.
Tugboat, you and I have done Rocket League for years. We were talking about boost management. Didn't think we had enough juice to get over the line, but with a couple of just savvy moves, it's now a 7-0 game.
Takes this one more up to about the 27, so that's going to be advantage as soon as Luke plays the cross. Is any opportunity to show up in offense or special teams going to show up with that one? The Navantas of the world's rejoice.
You have to do it. And I always say this in tournament play. What does it matter when you win your series quickly and you have a bit of a layoff? Will that be a little bit of rust they have to work
hmm
through in this
hmm
best of three?
It's a very good question. Always something that has to be at the forefront of the minds. Juice coming hot off the presses when it comes to talking about playing competitively. Luke plays lacrosse has finished out their series a little while earlier, so logic would follow. Be playing some still games to keep themselves warm, but not 100% sure. Lights and sounds go on the way of Valdez Scantling. That's inside a couple, but there is what, one, two, three, four green jerseys around there. And that's not going to be the same juice tape result.
Totally escape the player controlled coverage, but who don't got me, but the AI got me, right?
The pocket looking comfortable. 100%. You know who has who. That's Mecole Hardman Jr. Patrick Mahomes has gotcha.
Let me ask you a question there, Tugboat. Look,
Hit me.
I'm not hating on the Chiefs. In fact, if I was playing a tournament, I would use the Chiefs too. But I gotta say, would you have a second team if you played Madden? Would you pick the Chiefs if you had a tournament situation, or else you have another team in mind?
Again, I think we've sort of broached the topic before. I feel like I'm going to take everything that I can get. The Chiefs for a reason. Gibson gets up to about the 22, 23. That's going to be the 22. So you pretty much have to have Chiefs like right there, good to go, unless you're one of these like incredibly intricate and complicated and like really
Oh, okay.
skillful players
Here's
like
a
Juice Tay.
different question. Let's say the Chiefs have
Okay.
been banned in the tournament. You
Oh, got
can't
it.
use them. Where would you go?
Man, if I know nothing about my opponent, probably gonna go Bills. Probably gonna go Lamar Jackson led Baltimore Ravens after that. I love this Jets pick.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, the Jets are kind of a wild card team. I think that would be it. There's a bit of a sympathetic pull to do the Houston Texans. That's my team, but
hmm
I think you can't go wrong with the Jets. You can't go wrong with the Rams. They're kind of like these tier B squads that would probably hold
Yeah,
their own.
yeah. Trying to think. I mean, as a Panthers fan, I can never say that a competition I'm genuinely trying to win. I'm gonna pull out the Bryce Harper led Carolina Panthers. Garrett Wilson doesn't have much cares about my statements. That's another 7. All 3 drives ending 7 points on the board. Running around the league a little bit. I just it's Madden and using just a not, let's just honestly say it, like not a super flashy quarterback like Brock Purdy would kind of discourage me from going Niners. Raiders fan,
Wow,
definitely
you're a
could,
party hater.
I'm not a pretty hater. Everyone who's been talking about how like it just he's surrounded with some of the best talent and skill positions, again, quote unquote skill positions around him. and what he does with that is expected. I think a lot of people could do similar situations to what he's done in San Francisco, given the amount of talent around him.
I will say this: I don't hate the guy or love the guy, but he was everyone's villain in the Super Bowl. All the Swifties didn't like Brock Purdy at all. It was just kind of fun to watch, you
He
know.
was trying to actively destroy their love story. Can you be surprised? Throws this one.
Like a Hallmark movie. That's what it was.
Yeah, right. He was the bad guy. He was the bad guy. They did a great job of painting it with no redeeming qualities either. Jesus, nobody could talk about a single good thing that Brock Purdy had done, but
Right.
yeah. Oh man, I would have. Yeah, I've always had a special place in my heart for the Broncos, of course. Um,
That's
some
right.
of them, some of them, in Minnesota. We talked about this, man. Just the coolest guy in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. You just don't get better, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Kirk Cousins is on the outs. Has gone down there to Atlanta. Just absolutely robbed a bag from Minnesota and took it down to ATL. Reading about that stuff has been amazing as well. Have you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I thought would have been a lifer up there in Minnesota. And when I went to a Chargers game and the Vikings were in town, everyone had
Mhm.
Kirk Cousins jersey specifically. But hey, you know what? Got to go where the money goes, or got to go where you're booked, as they say.
Yeah, they and he definitely did. He most certainly did. One playoff game in a dozen years, or one playoff win, excuse me, in a dozen years.
That's how it's done,
It's
baby. Let's
yeah,
go.
exactly, exactly. No one does it better than Kurt Cobain's right there.
Oh man. You know, when I play Madden in the story mode, I'm always a QB, even though I played nose in high school because I was a
Mhm.
house. I was 5'9",
It's
275.
a brick.
Yeah, house. And they always draft me to the Jets, so it's come full circle here.
That was Kelsey getting his first for 21 on this methodical, yeah, the short methodical drives now for Luke Plays Lacrosse. He scores here. I would be surprised if we see something different from Juixetae. Yes, the big bomb plays has resulted in two of these three touchdowns thus far, but this is much more measured. And both of these players now felt each other out a whole lot. Wild card, I'm giving something like the Titans. Of course, Derrick Henry not there anymore.
I hear you.
Think he's going over to the Ravens. That would be an easy decision if we could get like updated rosters and get a Derrick Henry led backfield, playing second fiddle kind of to Lamar Jackson, which is weird to say about a man named Derrick Henry.
I don't want to hear anything. There's only one team in the AFC South, and it's Houston Texans. It's one team conference. That's one team
Got it.
division. That's it.
Smallest conference, guys.
Yeah,
Smallest or smallest division. Yeah,
the
excuse
smallest
me.
division is one team. That's it. uh,
Moving around backfield a little bit. Easy
oof.
peasy. Rasheed Rice going to bring this one in. We're back to a tie ball game. This is nothing if not methodical and predictable for these two. Offenses have just been absolutely slicing and dicing defenses up to this point. We have 28 points in the first quarter. We had 21 between Juixetae and Neighbor in their first game. 14 for their second, 21 for their no, yeah, 21 for their first, sorry, and, yeah, 28 is everything, and there's still 23 seconds, which tells me that, hey, why not 35, right?
Yeah, why not? No, but we've seen this before. We've seen this kind of mirror match type situation where the energies are pretty similar, the plays are pretty similar, and the first game really came down to a single mental mistake that Juice made, but obviously had corrected because they're now on the advanced round. So this is kind of part of the process, figuring out what your opponent has. Why is Andrew Rogers' helmet so weirdly shaped? That sort of thing, and hopefully someone can put on the afterburner soon.
There's just so much surface area in there, it has to cover, man, has to cover.
I guess. Is he thinking he's going to be the football? Like, why is he so aerodynamic?
And, you have to think, yeah, if you are the football, then how can you possibly throw a pick? Also, I want to give a huge, massive apology to the entire city of Detroit. The Lions, dude, the Lions, hands down.
Oh
What
yeah,
what they did this past year, I think was inspiring for more than just a football team, more than football fans. I think that really did a big stuff within Detroit. Obviously, Detroit, going through their own economic whatnots throughout the late 70s, 80s, 90s with a lot of
sure.
manufacturing going other places and whatnot. But I really do feel like if you're picking a place in the Midwest that is definitely on the up and up, you just can't really use the term Rust Belt anymore.
Yeah, it's funny when golf got traded out there. I was like, well, that's into him, but he found a way to come out
Yes,
hard,
yes.
rise like the Phoenix, and as the Rams decline because they mortgaged their entire future for one championship. That's besides the point. But yeah, props to Detroit, man. They're coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
easy
Props to
peasy.
Garrett Wilson. If you start running and you don't even see another player on the opposite side until you're at like the 25-yard line on the screen, I think it's fair to say that's going to be 7 on the board. Juixetae started this one out, got the 7 on the board. Luke plays across. Yeah, whether or not they're anticipating the fake doesn't matter. You still want to play this just because the how infrequently extra point kick does get blocked. Really, really does not happen very often. I've always loved Philly as well.
Ah,
Like
agreed.
I just love the city, and that does extend to its football team.
Do you love the Phillies City? I never been.
I
Well, I've been once by accident, but I never actually walked around
okay.
in town. Yeah.
Love Philly. Spent a lot of time there. Just like any major city, you got to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Treat it like a city. Keep your wits about you, we'll say, right?
Right. Yeah, I
Uh,
made a wrong turn off the turnpike and I drove through Philadelphia, but I never actually got
ah,
out the car and walked around.
there
So
you go. There you go. Well,
yeah.
depending on where you were, you should have taken the opportunity. But Philly, love the city. Philly, love the team. Philly fans, though, that is they're a different breed. This is true.
Right. Dirty Birds. Is that what it is?
Pretty birds, man.
Is that Baltimore? I don't know. They're all birds.
Won the you could describe either. Wins the championship, destroys the city. I don't
Right.
know.
I mean, you only got a couple times in your life to do that. So
That's fair. Fair. Hey, you want to go riot? I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about the question.
I mean, hey, was it a good reason or a happy reason? A bad reason or happy? Oh, happy reason? All right, cool. I'll come with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Uh,
it.
I'm kidding, guys. If you listen to this, we're totally kidding. 21-14, a 2-minute warning in the first half. The New York Jets up by a score, and it does feel like, and even the game agrees, momentum is squarely in New York's favor. Juice on a run, to say the least.
Yeah, speaking of Pacheco getting involved right now, first down plus some 5 seconds after the 2-minute warning here. Navante, this has just been a day of back and forth scoring. Juice started it. We've seen 5 totals since then, 6 possibly coming up in a little bit, especially if Luke plays lacrosse, continues to get a man named Isaiah Pacheco involved in this offense. There's the fake. There's the screening out to Rasheed
Oh,
Rice. Tries to dip back inside to get across a couple of defenders. Not going to happen. Now it's a waste time type situation for Luke plays. You do not want to give this ball back with any amount of time. You also have 3 timeouts as well. So this is pretty primo situations.
yeah, it totally is. You wanted to do a interception as well. I would run the ball personally because you have about 30 seconds. There's almost 2 plays to make that happen. Short pass that could have been caught. What?
Ooh, Clark, right there, user controlled as well, was seeing 6 in his eyes the other way. That barely gets caught. And this is going to be Luke Plays, who's very happy that that play ended in just a 1 yard and single down deficit. Setting back in the pocket, Patrick Mahomes gets the coverage he's been looking for so far as Marquise Valdez Scantling gets that ball in. I said the name right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you did. Props. I
Thanks,
know
man.
fortune favors the bold, but that was kind of risky, even though it's the first half still. You know?
Agreed. Agreed. And especially going in the same screenplay twice. Valdez Scantling catches a ball through the body of another man. If we get this on replay, you'll literally watch this ball kind of come through the backside of this helmet.
I don't think you're gonna do that because that defies the
Okay.
laws of in-game physics. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't quite happen so much bending time and space like Avatar. But either way, that ourselves are on course for another tie game.
It's going to be another point here. Second half going to be looking pretty much the same as the first here. Completely neutral situation. 6 drives from these 2 teams, each one ending with a touchdown. Perfectly slotted extra point. 18 seconds to go or so. If I'm the Jets, I'm bringing this one out. Okay.
All right. I guess the Chiefs were expecting that because like half the team's on the ground.
Disrespecting the Devantas of the world.
I know what's going on with that 40-yard run. That's all I ask.
We take it personally every time, folks. 18 seconds to go here. Rogers back in the pocket. Got to get a couple of big plays out quickly. That's not going to happen. There's a timeout, 2nd and 20. They're back on the 15-yard line.
So before we went live here with this game, we're talking about how this is definitely an opportunity for collegiate players to step up. Then I give a shout out to the colleges there, but like who are we seeing on the field right now? Where schools they from?
That's a very good point. Very good point. Brees Hall, controlled by Juixetae, representing University out of Charlotte here. Another Carolina boy. Love to see it. Love to see it. South Carolina myself. Charlotte, obviously, up there in North Carolina. Clark University. That is where Luke plays lacrosse hails from. Unsure, of course, if they play lacrosse with Clark, but representing that school, very, very much appreciated. Taking a look across these, we don't have like one college is representing a whole lot of these, and you're also looking at a pretty decently like wide open space, like right, West Virginia, Alabama, North Carolina, a little Tennessee action in here as well. Like, yeah, this is like centralized around the South for a lot of these teams, but no single state or no single college really representing everybody.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things about situations like or tournaments like this. You do get a bit of a flavor of different regions of the country and the history of how these schools come to be. So I got to give it props for that.
Simple fact that esports they be able to be played collegiate status, in 2024, really something that I'm about, and it's awesome what these young people and opportunities they're being allotted via esports. Patrick Mahomes almost unleashes a cannon right there, but the wick is cut right on the side of the ship right there, doused with flame or doused with water immediately. The firing of that one.
Pat Mahomes has just been. You think about what athletes want to do for a single team and city. I mean, Pat Mahomes is that in spades, right? He kind of has like investments in town and charity work
Oh
in
yeah.
town. He kind of made himself like the unofficial mayor of Kansas City. And I was there last summer, and it was all out of season, but everyone was like, "Man, Pat Mahomes this, Pat Mahomes that." It's pretty cool.
He what's he do with barbecue? Does he has like he doesn't have a restaurant, right? But he has like barbecue like themed stuff that he sells there and has got like his face or his number or something like that on it.
That's yes. That is kind of one of the many things he does around town.
What is it? Okay, you know what? We'll just Google it.
You better Google it, but
Absolutely.
they're gonna build a
Ooh,
statue.
Rage Barbecue in Kansas City and Lone Star State. Honestly, I have had barbecue in San Antonio before. I mean, his barbecue is it was good. I ate barbecue in Kansas City. I ate a burnt-in sandwich that made me want to bring tears to my eyes in public. But nobody is made more uncomfortable than a man alone in public starts crying, like while
Oh
eating,
yeah.
just no without saying anything. So I didn't want to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, one of the cool things about barbecue in this country is that every region has their own interpretation. You know, Memphis, Texas, even Carolina. It's a little different, but Carolina has their own.
Hmm
Texas
hmm
gets a lot of love, but I guess my favorite barbecue region has to be KC style. There's a place over there I went to called Char Bar. Changed my life with their burnt ends.
Yeah, dude. Like this food will make you appreciate life on a different level, folks. I'm not kidding. Kansas
Mm.
City, say what you want. Had Patrick Mahomes in the squad. Obviously, got plenty of haters. You can't say nothing about the way they burn pig and eat it. It is absolutely amazing.
Oh man, Pacheco's all about to take a sweet walk in there like he was in a Willy Wonka set, but got stopped at the line. But you know what I like about this though, about the Kansas City Chief play style? They're not afraid to run the ball, even if they know the opportunity there is rapidly closing after the snap.
Last little bit on that. Seems that there's a rumor that Travis Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, is going to be opening up a Kansas City steakhouse here soon. Would not be surprised if you could find some barbecue there. Pacheco, though, is going to be surprised he cannot find himself within the end zone on there. That's going to be a loss of about a yard or so. We were much closer a second ago. Second verse, better than the first. Isaiah Pacheco, ball in
Ooh.
hand in the lone defensive back, number 56. That Gardner, I can't, no, Williams, excuse me. We've seen Williams was singing their praises earlier. I believe that's Quentin Williams. Gonna be satisfied for three. Hey, this was one of the differences that Juixetae ployed into their win earlier. Luke plays now taking the guaranteed three.
Which is so surreal because I did witness a 4th and 25 going for it, right? I'm not crazy. That did happen today.
Navanto, wake up, man. We gotta cast. We gotta cast Madden today, dude. What are you doing?
4th and 25, go for it, bro. You can do it. But yes, 3 points are definitely better for the drive. I got to say this though, on the other side of things, field goals are something that came into play in the last game, last week. Kind of a non-issue here, but hey, points are points. If you can get yourself some room between you and your opponent, why not give yourself a bit of time?
I'm 100% with that, especially given that Juice started this one out. So given that this one ended on a field goal, you can continue to trade like 1 for 1, 1 for 1, all the way down for four, and still end up with a 3 point advantage. Juice no situation. If you're doing touchdowns to get like an extra 2 points and then overcome that 3 points. This is not the UFL. This is not exciting scoring endings. Ha ha ha
Wow, hot take,
ha ha ha
editorial.
ha ha.
All right, let's be honest. Will you be watching the UFL as seeing how the USFL has been corrupted, like I am doing with the XFL, or you just only open to spring football? You're like, well, I don't care how I'm getting it, I'm on board.
Okay, first, I'm down. Second, if you want to talk about corrupted, let's talk about the Arlington Renegades and just how that team got to the XFL championship last year, because that could be a very short
I
conversation.
agree that the Dragons are uncrowned champions. They don't even exist anymore, so I don't want to
They
hear
don't. They don't. But
it.
Luis Perez trades everything else after Vegas and other teams on the West Coast get deemed or get mathematically eliminated from playoffs. Then Arlington gets it. I'm just saying the Rock ploying a little bit of influence there, folks. Is
But
from or is from
oh,
Arlington, excuse me.
absolutely. And the fact that the San Antonio Brahmas, which is a team that nobody likes, is still there.
Is still there. Yeah. Oh, if you're
Shout
Edwards, if you're Luke Plays, you're not gonna like that pick. The big man, 78. Be happy they tackled him out of bounds on that one. We just witnessed a shift in momentum, my friend.
Well, that's what it says on the momentum meter on top of your screen there. I went from being neutral to just exciting times at Arrowhead or Arrowhead adjacent. Look, but let me ask you this. What do you do with this if your Luke plays? You just say, hey, look, I need to score here to put some more, or you're going to go back to doing the shore secure, move things up as quick as possible. Never mind. Here's a bomb.
There's the bomb. Hey, come on.
Forget my
Devon said,
question, Tugboat.
"You're not dreaming. It's still Madden."
How dare I think I do like a run on worse than 10? Oof. Oh man, had a little bit of the
Hmm.
Sonic the Hedgehog feet skid there. Got caught behind defenders.
Don't be surprised you find some gold rings on the ground out there, folks. Trips left, almost gets this one out. Nope. That's going to be a very, very aggressively confident play, perhaps overly so here for Luke Plays. Trying to just unload this one, and now your result off of what at least two attempts of some long balls, just give me points and give them to me now type mentality. 3rd and 20. This just got a whole lot harder.
Let's see what they have here. Shot to the end zone, and oh my goodness
What?
me!
Now that's
Now,
the about as scantling that we saw in the Super Bowl. My oh my, 10-point game here as Butker remains perfect on the day. How interesting is it that we saw 42 or no, excuse me, 28 of these points in the very first quarter, and after that is just busted wide open. Gibson with a little head of steam. Oh, the wall right
yeah.
there. If that was if that was penetrated, there was a lot of green on the other side. And I'm not talking about New York Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that it would have happened. It would have made my day. But you know what? Defenses are better than that. And to answer your last question, like it wasn't even so much the catch of that last touchdown. It was being Pat Mahomes being off balance. If you saw, it was the wrong leg and still got enough power to shoot in the corner. That's why Pat Mahomes is elite.
Yes, he is. Speaking of corner plays, Gibson off the kickoff return. Me glad fatigue ain't a thing, man. Just ran 35 yards down, got absolutely slanted to the ground afterwards, and then has another like 35-yard run. He's just a sprint the entire time.
You know, can I ask you another UFL question? Just one
Let's hear
more.
it. Let's hear
So
it.
before we
I'll
went
talk UFL
live,
all day, man.
before yeah, I know, right? But before we went live, you know, I said a very factual statement. I said Roughnecks are better than the Gamblers. You said no. What's up with that?
I said no in a smiley face because I had to keep a professional facade. I was raging on the inside. Gibson
I'm
with a bomb here. But I mean, they're literally the same team. Like they took the Roughnecks, they got rid of everything that makes the Roughnecks outside of the name, and then they took the Gamblers team and just called them the Roughnecks. That's literally what it is. And to call them the fourth official USFL team is kind of like or coming in from the USFL division, having them play in the USFL division, whatever you want to call it.
right.
It's kind of just like just almost morbid and how they're like dissecting the team and just using the pieces they want, I guess.
I mean, division names are not even a real thing. Let's be real, right? Like you,
Eh,
you got the whole in baseball we have like the AL Central, and it's like both teams in Texas are in the Central, and they're like 1,000 miles apart. Like, come on.
that is Texas too for you, like
Yeah, exactly.
very large state.
Very large state, man. I don't know, man. The ref makes for a hard brand. Oh, what is
What?
going on? That
Okay.
was a lucha libre body meld. I don't know what just happened.
Man, oh man, some Kansas City players right there with the assistance into the end zone. They're generally supposed to do that the other way. We'll have to let them know on their next defensive attempt.
Well, that's the name of the
Onside kick.
game. Well, that's fair. Why not do that? But we're saying that the field goal has been the difference, so why not look at it back?
Nice recovery. Nice recovery. That was user controlled. You saw him kind of pull away from the line and then come back to it with a little bit ahead of steam to pick this one up, scoop it, toss to the outside down the 44. Luke plays lacrosse. Is going to be in fantastic scoring position.
And all it takes pretty much will be one field goal after run the clock to do it. But if we say in Madden, no guts, no glory, got to go for the TD.
Uh, trio of timeouts will be here for the Jets. This one probably taken down to the 2 minute warning, and it will.
Oh man, ring the bell. Say by the bell, I guess.
And play clock getting kind of down there, but Isaiah Pacheco just makes sense rushing this one. Carter the second going to be able to get the back against actually, and bring this one down. Make it not a first down situation. First down would be disastrous here for Juixetae.
Yeah, I just got the back of an elbow and just got flattened there. That's not going to be on this highlight reel for sure.
We back. Nice catch. Valid scaling hits the ground. Got to call this timeout here. That's too much time that she can burn off. There you go.
Uh, Clutch timeout. I would do it too personally, but I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, roll the dice.
This is Madden. This is
Let the cock,
Madden.
let the cock roll.
The way back. Surveying the field, a lot of options. Goes for the bomb, hit out here. That's a turnover on downs. This game just got a lot more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand the long pass. I am not a fan of the dropping back 20 full yards to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Rolling back in the pocket, trying to utilize as best you can. Quick shot out to Lazard. And Lazard gets away from the defender once, away from the defender twice. Third one brings him down as Cook assists for the tackle from the back. We're at least in field goal territory now. This would be like almost a 50-yarder, but this is NFL.
Yeah. I don't like this at all. If you are a Luke plays, you have the field goal in hand, you have the ball, you can then not a whole lot of things, but you're very close of having this thing slip away if you're not careful.
Couple defensive stops away from a field goal attempt and OT in our first matchup here between Luke plays across out of Clark University, Juixetae out of Charlotte, Brees Hall to the outside for a little bit of a gain and a clock stoppage.
14 seconds, maybe two plays, definitely at least one. Let's see what happens here.
And back in the pocket, surveying. Rogers picking the field apart. That's going to be enough for Uzoma and gets up there really close. He's actually got to go down like now. There you go. Timeout. So a great kind of reserved look at the timeout usage right there. Juixetae, that could have been their last, but now they have enough for two plays here to try and get touchdown, not have to go for just a tying factor.
Got some defensive substitutions here. See if it pays off. Look out.
The end
Oh my
around,
goodness.
Wilson gets nowhere. There's the timeout. This should be the field goal here, unless Juixetae wants to go all or nothing.
Interesting. Timeout, Kansas City. I needed more time to get their defensive alignment. Thought they were going to go for it, looks like. Decided to go for the field goal.
It's going to be perfect. We are heading to overtime here in our first matchup in this best of three between Juixetae and a Charlotte. Luke plays lacrosse out of Atlanta. Love this. Absolutely love it.
Well, that's the right play. I was kind of surprised to see it, though. Is that weird?
It is Madden. It is Madden. Feel like we could repeat that one 1,000 times. Butker boots this one. He just inside. Gibson calls for the fair catch. They're not going to take this one. 5 minutes and 15 seconds on the overtime clock. Am I reading this correctly?
Looks that way, yeah. Looks like that and Gibson's hype at the same time. Overtime happens, and of course, it's definitely that modified sudden death, right? Drive a piece. See what works out here.
Extra 15 seconds added. I suppose. I guess this is intentional. Lazard, once again, the cut around, and Edwards, the defender that gets juked out the shoes once again, man. See if that 15 seconds really matters here. They're lining up. Nobody in deep coverage here. Just another short pass. This is a good read from the defense to break this one up, not dedicate anybody deep when you know this ball ain't coming.
Yeah, I do think it's the idea of the drive. That one was going to be either a run or a short pass. It was a good call with the defense to choke up.
See if the defense's stance continues here for side of Luke Plays. Gets it out. This should get broken up, and it does. That was almost interception territory as Rodgers with 4 touchdowns and INT, 25 or so attempts.
Surprised it got even near there. The arc was so high.
Another bomb all the way out there, 4th and 13. There's been nothing doing for Aaron Rodgers in overtime.
Well, we heard that plenty of times as well. Going for it again, maybe trying to see if he can get a touchdown there to really put some daylight there. But I'm not really sure it's the right choice. Not sure at all.
There's only one decision to be made here as Rodgers steps back again, surveys the field, the cut back. Garrett Wilson holds on to this one. That's a first down. That is what the doctor ordered right here for a healthy New York Jets team to stay that way.
Got to call Wilson the bank. Bailed out the team on that one. I thought it was
Yep.
going to be a turnover and downs. Easy peasy.
So 2 players right there. Garrett Wilson just showing just how good he can be. 78, providing a little bit of envoy coverage here all the way up. Brees Hall with 9 of them. This is not a time to be giving up almost double-digit yard rushes, Novanta.
Yeah, it's talking about bad timing. That looks quite like that. I mean, yeah, he ended up upside down, but not after getting 8 yards or even 9. It was all said and done.
User control to the outside. Brees Hall stuffed down at the line. No gain, no loss here outside of the play, the single down for Juixetae. 3rd and 1, all the way back in the gun yet again, man. We're talking about 8 yards between these two, and you just need one.
Just need one, and that seems to be a lot harder sometimes. That one being it's so easy. Let's try something, and then ends up coming against a brick wall.
Rogers on the 40-yard line right now and throws it away. Like, I think this is just complicating things a little bit too much. Like, I'm not saying you have to, go with the short run right at the middle, Brees Hall every single time or anything else like this, but the utilization of the deep pocket, right? This shotgun formation is just like it's just simply overdone.
Yeah,
Sorry, brought a little bit in closer though.
can't count them out, but it doesn't look good for them. So
Wow.
there you go.
Okay, Brees Hall completely stiffs a couple of defensive players. User interaction actually brought is the teammate a little bit closer as well. Zone or man, nothing works right there when you're pulling defenders off of players.
If your Luke plays at LAX, I wonder everything in this game is slipping through your fingers because if this feels like as soon as you got them pinned to the wall, they find a way to escape. Um,
Thrown this one away. You had a fresh set of downs. Why not try it again? Juixetae also trying to score here with no time on the other side. So Luke Plays will just be playing with an empty clock, right? They get a set of downs no matter what. If this ends more, no one wants that if you're, no one it wants that if you're Juixetae, of course.
right.
Holding controlled up the middle. Rogers in a much shorter gun here. Love Red closes in. Brees Hall. That's going to be a
Oh.
late breakup. Still 3rd and goal. Incomplete pass. Clock stopped.
Well, they always say if the ball gets to your glove, it's your responsibility to catch it. And it looked like it was going to be caught too, but it was knocked out the last possible second.
62 total points in this one. We'll be seeing at least 65, barring, of course, I suppose, a safety. I shouldn't count it out as a possibility, especially
Boop.
especially when you go on the gun and you roll back, 20 extra yards, right?
Right. What a weird way to end a game. And we saw it too. Like, and the
Yeah.
safety calls it. See you next week, guys. Dun, dun, dun.
Seinfeld, if you're the losing team there, right? Elation and celebration if you're the winning team, though.
I was
Find
having
out.
this discussion the other day, by the way, about like favorite theme songs for NFL. Are you a CBS guy? Fox?
Ooh.
ESPN?
Uh, and I will always love the Fox Sports stuff. I also their college game day stuff will always, that those are core memories, long time ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you 100%.
Pick right up the middle. This is going to be advantage here for Juixetae. Of course, we'll have a whole set of downs, whole attempt here, and honestly, keeping Luke plays out of field goal range is much easier said than done. Keeping them out of touchdown now, we've already seen that.
Yeah, stranger things have happened. It's a run out. Let's do this. Oh, out of
Okay. Okay.
bounds.
I think he was trying to get more vertical with that one and keep toes inside, not didn't intentionally run out, but maybe another yard or two after that one. But regardless, 2 yard advantage will be theirs after no fair catch, no start in this one from the 25. Trips
Man,
left.
could have been.
What could have been lofting this one way up, and Valdez Scantling, yeah, very, very hard to have gotten under that one.
It was out of reach, but it looked like the coverage was taking a sweet time. Like it was almost relying and guaranteeing was going to be dropped. Had it been caught, that would have been a game breaking play.
No plays have garnered more than like 15 or 20 yards there for the offensive Juixetae on their attempt. Obviously, an attempt that ended in 3, not 7. Big bomb outside. Rasheed Rice tries to bring this one in. That says good accuracy and a bullet pass. Bullet pass I'd agree with, but maybe not the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Good accuracy, but it helps you zero.
Yeah, like you threw it accurately, exactly the outside where it couldn't possibly be caught.
That's a
It's
moral
not with toes
victory.
inside.
Yep.
Out is Scantling brought inside for the slant route. I would have gotten with that one 3 seconds ago. There you go. Without his Scantling now up the middle, number 11. That's a big, big play. Blown defensive coverage. This is exactly what we're talking about, varying your plays, though, because Luke plays, sends a couple bombs downfield and has established the threat. Juixetae then dedicates a lot of coverage zone-wise down to the into this field. 2 whole players, I mean, like dedicated there. Now you send a couple more players there, and now the threat is actually real, and you just take your player with a moderate pass that turns it into a big one.
I mean, that is definitely a technical term, but I'm with you 100%.
A big
Biggins
one.
are
Yep,
great.
that's a good point. Big $5 words, dude. You have to look up some half my vocabulary in the dictionary. That is
Was
Scantling staying perfect though.
that a sidearm pass? What was that about? I mean, it
Hey,
worked
Patrick
out,
Mahomes,
but
dude.
I mean, yeah, fact. That DLC is crazy.
And coverage at least getting forecasted as of right now. Checo out to the right side. Nicely done. So they pull this, and Luke plays takes down game number 1 after finally getting Isaiah Pacheco involved. This last play here was so great because you can see immediately puts the men in motion, indicates that man coverage, pulls everything over to the left side. Isaiah Pacheco has a barn door wide open to the right. That's going to be what I guess a 3 point advantage here because they don't kick the extra point when it's not necessary, when it's a walk off.
Interesting play there for a lot of it. Almost like an inverse bell curve. Chiefs and Chiefs were kind of like the team to beat in the top and the bottom, but in the middle, it was all Juixetae filling that run, first defeat in about 3 games. Of course, you always ask what they have to do to get themselves back on the winning ways, but I don't think they have to do a lot. It really came down to one play, one drive after an overtime. I think going back to a work for them or might put themselves in advantage for a game 3 situation.
Yeah, so yeah, backing your point up 1,000%. Both Juixetae and Luke Plays did not make very many mistakes in this. We always talk about like the things to be cleaned up on the edge, outside of spreading the ball around maybe a little bit more for Juixetae. I mean, and what I mean is getting their main guy involved a little bit more. Garrett Wilson, like he had a couple really clutch plays, but the simple fact that you can't really call your wide receiver number 1, your numero uno, as a bailout player in the same way that Travis Kelce has been referred to on this broadcast with the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to get Garrett Wilson involved a little bit more, but not everything has to be a big bomb play. This is Juixetae that's shown us that they've been very methodical in the past. Just do that one again, because this is a very, very even-handed matchup right here.
Definitely a case to run it back, but if you are a Luke Plays LAX, there really was some times where going a little bit aggressive with the defense cost them some yards. I mean, that's me splitting hairs. That is not a hard note, but it's definitely something to think about as you roll in the game too.
Like Navanta and I are trying to like pull differences from 2 teams that don't really have a whole lot between the 2 of them. Yes, like Kansas City Jets are obviously 2 very like different teams within like the real life aspects of it and whatnot. But the way these two are playing and the amount of mistakes that they're making just really are not plentiful by any means. The biggest one, I guess you could kind of say, is just with the individual play in the very last for this to go tied situation all the way down. But Luke plays to finally get the running game involved a little bit more. Maybe pitching to Pacheco. I don't think Pacheco took but like 2 receptions in this one as well. Travis Kelsey was involved in an appropriate amount, an amount that I felt very comfortable with. Started off with a threat. It was a 21-yard a shot right to the outside for Travis Kelsey to stop the clock there in the first half. Getting that involved and showing, hey, this man's live. He's always going to continuously be the threat. All 6'7" of him, right? But and then once that threat is established, now you have to span the field as a defense a whole lot more and dedicate the limited resources that you have to try and covering a guy that sometimes needs 2 or even 3.
Yeah, I mean, look, you put the nail on the head, and you're right. We really didn't see as many tosses over to Pacheco, and that's always a good thing to put down in your arsenal. But then again, maybe it's us because we've seen 8 different flavors of the Kansas City Chiefs. So hopefully a little bit of that might be instilled in game 2. Again, variety is always the spice of life, but I'm expecting another game of high scoring affair.
I wouldn't be against a build switch here for Juixetae. Juixetae has already shown us that they can do that. Simple fact is, like big shout out to Juixetae. Like they played in literally all of these qualifiers. Finally got it in. That was with UYMP, I believe. Numbers 1, number 2 from each of our qualifiers. For anybody just joining us, if you're wondering exactly what is going on, we are here with the Rally Cry Collegiate Series. So we have top 8 right now, double elimination bracket that we're working our way through as of right now. Winning 4 players going to be getting some money. The top 2 players going to be getting a chance to play under the lights and sounds of the NFL Draft, Detroit, Michigan, April 25th through 27th. And that'll be a match for $2,500 for first, $1,500 for second. Don't worry, third and fourth, still be getting them sell some $500 a piece just for playing a little bit Madden. Will not be going to compete within at the NFL Draft at the end of April.
And let's be real, we can't understand it enough. The NFL draft is not just you being in a room somewhere off on the moon. I mean, you're going to be so close to luminaries and dignitaries and staff members and front office members of these teams. And imagine being in the room of the next class of college athletes who get drafted that weekend. I mean, that's an incredible experience for everyone involved.
Really is. Really is. Take to the field now and see what teams have decided within their NFL squads. Obviously, playbooks, can be decided. Juixetae says that FBI Tugboat has no idea what he's talking about. I'd agree.
Dang.
Man stays on the Jets.
I mean, props to Luke Plays for saying you don't know what you're talking. No, I'm terrible. That's terrible. All right, he's going for it.
Gibson, love it. Out to the 18 or so, but an attempt is an attempt nonetheless.
Yeah, again, I got to give any team a attempt for running it. If you can do 4th and 9 pass plays, you can take the ball in after catching it.
That you can. Game 1 went to OT. We'll see the offense kind of get established here and who is really like both momentum is so mental based, right? Like, and whoever feels like they have it in this game, number one, like obviously Juixetae going to be starting it out. So logic follows that, like, that momentum, that ability to show off first is here for Juice.
Yeah, here's the thing about momentum. I think it's a lot of things we talk about in a lot of games of what that means. And yeah, it does mean confidence. And yeah, it does mean being good. But when you have things in the bank, if you have that idea, mentality of what I can do if I could not fail, you do try new and innovative things. You say, why not? Right? If you play the game horse in basketball, the over the shoulder, nothing but net only happens if you have confidence in self. And that's what momentum really is. It's confidence in self.
Well, Juixetae, 17-yard rush and run, ripping right up the middle of the Brees Hall. It's a fantastic way to start this one out. Very close defensive coverage. Everybody dropping back on this one. Brees Hall going to catch the rock and get up for about 9.
Hey, 9 is good. I mean, why not? There's a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen there, but what you did is you broke coverage. You got yourself an extra yard or 2.
Oh boy. Okay, Gibson takes a big one right down the middle. Gets a little bit of assistance from the teammate. That's going to be a bomb for about 25. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Juixetae flirting with the red zone now.
I think this drive is definitely hey, look at me, tugboat. You told me to switch to the Bills, but
That makes sense. Ooh, Luke plays lacrosse. Boy Doe going to be drilling Rodgers down for a 14-yard loss. Red zone. Yeah, we just offered the number and they said no go.
Mm-hmm. 2 and 24. It's like, well, there's been worse here we've seen, but that's not good for Aaron Rodgers and company.
No, it is not. Juixetae's shown that they're completely happy with taking, no, maybe not completely happy, but content with taking 3 points. A rush up here to the 31 purchases a situation where now the field goal is back into the conversation, but not going to be, suffice, of course, for a field goal till it's actually forced out. But back into the shotgun again, about 4 yards out, no long gun here. Loading up this right side yet again as everybody just crisscrosses the field. That looked like it was going to be dangerous. It looked like the Zardy wasn't going to be able to get behind this one enough, and defender does not make a play on it.
Wow, I was going to say 4th and 6 is worth a field goal, but okay, we're doing for it. We're in the first. Bold.
I think Juice is thinking, hey, it's do or die back against the wall. What do you do?
In the
I do
first?
like this.
Really?
I mean, hey, you just lost the first game. You're down 0-1 in the series.
Oh, come on. Yeah, there's hustle, and then there's just being reckless. I would not have gone for it here personally, but that's just me.
Says the man who screams in the Discord call. Everybody, every time somebody takes the kickoff return fair catch call.
I do scream and text too, so I transcribe. I transcribe at the same time.
Talk to
Enter.
text. There you go. 4th and 6, though, coming up. This was a timeout taken for Luke Plays to kind of figure out the defensive looks. That's going to be broken up. User swat. Brees Hall in the end zone. Doesn't even get much more than a front row seat to that play getting broken up. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, the second best result for Luke plays LAX. Hand was up, made you thought it was going to be brought down, but you know what? Stopping your opponent from scoring could be worth its weight in gold, especially in this juncture.
Yeah, just interrupting that momentum because all of these first drives, it seems, ended in 7, especially in situations where teams are still figuring each other out. Well, Luke plays Juixetae. It's a storied back and forth so far, and especially with an extra period at the end of the first game there for players to get acquainted with each other even more.
Can't underscore enough. What a catch there. Can't underscore enough that
Oh.
nobody likes overtime period. So, oh, wow, that was a late hit if I ever saw one. Yo, ref.
No,
Hello?
no penalties called in this. No penalties called. Truly the National Football League here.
Mhm.
Spread out 3 receivers. Far one on the line, so that tells you he's going to be closer, and he is. Bailout throw right there if he wants it, but gets to the outside on a 5-yard dash up to the right hash mark.
Respectable run. I mean, you didn't want to throw it and risk throwing it away. So, hey, you get yourself another opportunity. Half the work has already been done.
Also, like, just keep it on the ground, right? Like the momentum of this game has definitively shifted whenever there's been these picks and whatnot. So, keeping this here and going with shorter passes is not something I'm going to be against in the first half of this game, especially if you're playing from a head or neutral situation like they have. And there's no more neutral situation than nobody scoring whatsoever. First quarter now, Dunzo. Luke plays LAX will be on the 47 with plenty of opportunities to get literally inches for the first down.
First quarter gone, no score, and we saw a little bit of the pressure in the pocket for both. I don't know if you call it pocket, but for both QBs, and really the ones that can master the blitz will have a lot more luck. But how about that for luck? Pacheco with the first down.
Pacheco with less than half a yard, but that's going to be enough for the first down right there. One rush for for on the stat board 0, but enough for the firstie. It's right on the play here again. Steps back, maintains pocket, got some solid coverage. Now a shot outside. Miko Hardman Jr. actually
Oh,
gets gifted this one. A little bit of interaction at the end, but that's going to be enough for 7. Juixetae, gotta say, maybe affecting the mental a little bit, like getting shut out and the turnover and downs forced on their first drive. But that was, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco that was open across the middle, is Miko Harbin was open across the middle, is about his Scantling that was open, kind of like on the left side slant, like wide open though. Defensive calls here from Juice not reigning supreme like they have in the previous couple games.
yeah. I mean, to their credit though, they were in position to stop that run. That 6 ankles got broken on that play. It's kind of hard to take that and say forget about it. And even though it's only one touchdown, those are the ones that people clip out and tag you in it on social. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. It's fair. Rogers destroyed in the back. Willie Gay comes up for their first sack, first tackle of the day. 10-yard loss on the play here for Juixetae. An offense that found nothing except a turnover on downs, turned into a defense that gave up 7 quickly, turned into an offense. The offensive line did not protect appropriately. Aaron Rodgers gets drilled. That's going to be Gibson, though, enough inside. You saw the user strip attempt there once the catch was made. Love this defense from Luke Plays.
Yeah, that was very smart. I mean, it didn't work out for them, but they were pretty much in the right position. They had time to react. Just to get the timing down right, that tells you you're locked in sync with your opponent. It's only a matter of time.
Does get this one out, and that's just going to be a pitch away. Xavier is going to have like just so many yards. What I think it was 260. I think that's what that said earlier.
Yikes. I was thinking about this. Would you invest in an NFL team if you had the chance?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you serious?
I'm asking. Some people will
Oh,
say no, that's a lot of work.
100%, dude.
Oh,
1,000%, especially with the like some of the teams, LA Rams, the Boston, the New England Patriots, definitely, obviously, complexly down with the Cowboys. The amount that they're working with esports,
mm-hmm.
100%, 100%,
Oh,
and I'm
well,
I'm so glad they are. Obviously, all the Madden teams being supported by their respective NFL teams as well. Like, I love where the NFL is going with regards to esports. Uh, and I mean, huge entertainment league, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm with it.
Money maker, money maker. Now, the team that I would invest in, that's the next question. Do you want to go with, I mean, do you want to go with the Cowboys that started like established brand and like it's almost like investing in McDonald's or Coca-Cola, right? Or do you want to
Right.
try and find one of these teams on their way up, like say your Detroit Lions or something like this?
I mean, that's way more the common story, right? You get a team that's in receivership or like has a fan base but hasn't done
Hmm.
anything. And you try to turn things around. Like to buy a team, well, the Cowboys are on top, but to buy like a team that historically is on top and be like, I'm gonna put you guys back is way too much pressure.
Steelers, right?
Oh yeah, way too much pressure.
Steelers, yeah. Like I mean, they have like 6 of them. The last one's came in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah, the, the
Obviously had some playoff success since then, but nothing going to the big dance and taking it down.
yeah, a bridesmaid team like the Steelers, so good every season, and then just nah.
Just
Next year,
no.
guys, we'll do it. No,
They pick a
if I could invest in a team, it would probably be like the Chargers, only because like
ooh.
what a touchdown pass that I get to this after the break. Look at that, this bomb over there. You need to small, sure, secure passes, and that's number one in every single tie game. And the reason why is that you have a team that's in a market and you're number two, so you're like splitting for a fan base. So you
Yep,
have a lot of more
yep.
fun to like figure out what your identity is.
And that means you have so much more wiggle room as well, right? Like it's already
Mhm.
established for one, and you already have things that you know you don't want to do. So that wide range of pool, like of a characterization of a franchise sports team, is just so much smaller. And so I feel like that's so much easier. There's no analysis paralysis, across with a billion different options. I want to talk about Xavier Gibson, though. Talked about Juixetae needing to get Garrett Wilson involved. Hey, well, why not make a different player sing the same beautiful song? That is Xavier Gibson. I believe that's 3 receptions on 83 yards and a touch.
I will say you don't really talk about the Jets too much without talking about what a catch about Gibson and well as we say that the Chiefs move up a couple yards there.
Yeah, dude, Gibson go to Juice is doing great slinging this rock with Aaron Rodgers and stuff, but you just can't give up these plays on the defensive. That's another big bomb. Every single time Luke plays has been like on their side of the field, it's been a big bomb like that to get up and just completely not I mean, not just purchase the first set of downs, but now put them in a situation where, a couple 5-yard rushes, a couple 12-yard passes, and now they're flirting with the red zone yet again. I mean asking for the Instagram this time.
Can I tag you? Can I tag you? Can I tag you?
Hey, it was clever and it was like sub not subtle. There you go, not submersive. It was subtle maybe a couple years ago, but the play is over with, right? It's the Hail Mary now of flirtation. Speaking of Travis Kelsey, easy peasy, barely even gets touched on his way inside. 41 seconds or so will be the reward for Juice Tay on the back half of this first half.
Travis
Back
Kelsey
half,
filmed
first half,
themselves
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, yeah, it counts. I count the
Yeah.
first half. Yeah, second quarters.
At what
Uh,
point can we start saying it's a long day and blame like weird phrasing on that?
I do at the second minute. It's
Gotcha.
like
Gotcha.
9 a.m. Long day, guys.
This a
You know,
guys,
woo,
a
woo.
long day. You need another cup
So,
of coffee after that one, folks. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Give it the caffeine.
I like it. I like it. You gotta love a co-caster. It'll give you, leeway on the excuses. Always, always, always.
Never my fault. Never my fault.
Production staff like the rally cry, I can't go blaming them for stuff. That usually is my default, right? Because they can't defend themselves publicly. It's just us that you guys hear. But wow, Lazard. Okay. Talk about making a lot with just a little bit. Came back into this one with like 42 seconds and burns another 7 right there. Beaten feet down, running parallel to the end zone. This is smart stuff, Novanta.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is clock management, but it's kind of fun to watch that running animation. Just take the sweet
Yeah.
time to cross that line,
It's
and
like
yeah. Well, actually, I can't hear you now because production's cut your microphone because you made fun of them. No, I'm totally good.
that makes sense. Making themselves known, letting them know, like, hey, we're pulling the strings here in the back. Don't you ever forget. This is
Look at
looking
this.
really good. Moore just breaks through the pocket. There you go. That's why you take it off on the kickoff. 10-5 on the 3. If this is okay, so this is so smart on both sides, right? Juixetae, like imagine this is like 32 seconds, not 48. And then he runs that one down and gives the ball back with only like 6 seconds. Now with them running this one down and pushing that at the 3, that'd been it. We'd be going the second half. There'd be nothing on the other side. Pitching back the other side of his chest. My goodness, we have got to watch that one again.
I would kiss every digital person on the field right now. 'Cause that's exactly what I wanted for weeks. You see that run back? That's what I'm talking about. Talk about.
I got so excited I just sneezed. Oh, got the mic meter for that one, folks. Abaconda, Abanaconda, excuse me. Going to be taking this one. Fair catch called. Did not evaluate down that farther into the field, so did not want to kind of give up a bad look here. Juixetae just had a fantastic offensive play earlier. This gets erased within the history books after Luke Plays gets the kick 6.
Well, I'm mad about that. It's a dementia of the game we haven't seen before. And what a catch! What? There's still time for one more score?
Flag here. 2nd and 15. Brutal.
It's what?
Absolutely brutal. Terrible. Terrible. Didn't even see what the flag was for technically. It might have been late or a holding on the offensive line. I have no idea, honestly.
Man, the refs were quiet all game, and then there you go. It'd be like that.
Deciding play right there. Yeah, Brees Hall going to be taking this one. Got to get down if you want a second play. Not going to happen. Wow. So fighting for an extra yard gets out to the 50, but you would have wanted like a Hail Mary opportunity after that one, right?
Yeah, I would say so for sure, but I didn't quite see what the penalty was. But yeah, that would be an idea. I think everything was all pointing to a one more line touchdown cross for the end of the half.
The team's scoring in both of the first 2 quarters here, but Luke plays off the special teams. Something tells me this might be a deciding factor at least. And starting the second half off with the onside field or onside kick attempt, it's going to hit the feet of Tranquil. Dale just gets
Ooh,
absolutely slammed after that. Does manage to keep it in his right hand, even though he flops backwards. Solid attempt and almost lands.
man's flailing about like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, but holds on to the ball. That's the man that matters.
This is just so early to have utilized this one, though. Uh, if you're tied even, I see this, but giving up this amazing field position to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs with a man named Patrick Mahomes slinging this rock, this is tough breaks.
I mean, you're absolutely right, but there may be a case of playing chicken, right? Trying to see if your opponent's going to do something bold, and if they fumble it, then that could be the mental shift you need, or not.
Speaking of Rasheed Rice, blown coverage yet again. Rasheed Rice has all the right in the world to dance after that one. Blown coverage wide, wide open. A couple players are close enough to exchange some harsh words, but that's it.
That's unfortunate. Luke plays has the game in hand, and now it comes down to Juixetae. Is he going to wave off the rest and say "I no mas," or is there something up their sleeve to force themselves into this contest as the time ticks away?
Gibson, Xavier Gibson, the offensive powerhouse of this squad so far, rockets it up to about the 23. So Attempt is an attempt, and a loss of 2 yards is nothing really, especially the way the Juice has been slinging this rock for 60 yards sometimes.
Hmm. Well, if had it's been the first or second, I'll say keep on. But the trip to oh my goodness me, that was painful to watch in two different ways.
Yeah.
what what just happened?
Would not want to be Aaron Rodgers at pushing 40. Would not be want to be that defender for where that helmet was going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rodgers gets the wheels involved again. 3 rushes, 24 yards, average of 8 per. Looking like an Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers past.
Oh yeah, I forgot used to play for those guys back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Jets legend
That
Andrew Aaron Rodgers was
Yeah,
the backer.
starting
Well,
off his career a little late.
well, here's the thing, man. Look, I would say this on the behaviors of the people in this tournament, this is worth a concession. But if you say concedes, he goes down to a lower bracket. So I understand trying to fight for your life to see you can push a game three out of
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
nowhere. It seems.
I think we can now say that the forfeit by Neighbor at the second game when they had the 1 game advantage after the second against this player, against Juixetae, handed mistake, clear cut mistake right now. Neighbor is going to be playing against Lock Mo Jr. down there as well. Go ahead and get this a little refresh action. Get you guys any updates on that other side of the bracket while Aaron Rodgers sits back into the pocket. Okay, so Juice Neighbor went down to a 2-1 game. Was that a pick? It
Yes, it
is.
is.
Johnson nabs this one with the perfect timing. Big man like just slamming this guy outside number 60. But yeah, so Jordu and Noah also went to a 2-1 barn burner. Jordu playing against UMYP down bottom. That's a matchup we've seen before. Lockmo and Neighbor are going to be doing battle down there as well.
Oh man, the heavy hitters are going at it right now. But speaking about heavy hitters, Luke play LAX can really has no impetus to score right now. Can really run the clock as much as they want to, but we got to go for a full maximum effort here. Momentum clearly on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now it's time to stunt.
Gotta agree. Gotta agree. That this is you run every single second at a play clock. Pacheco is the name of the game, and I have to assume that this was given up so that you get offensive scoring opportunity and then get onside kick opportunity after your scores.
I think so too, but again, it's now the time, right? Now you're down by so many, 35 to 14. As of right now, the strategy you would employ has to be a little bit of luck and grace included.
Luck, grace, maybe a little bit in between here. Butker boots this one all the way down to the line. Gibson fair catch. Xavier's not going to run this one out. Getting 80 plus yards or something like that on here on the day is Juixetae fighting this one down as best they can, my friends.
Well, I'm not sure if the what's on Juice's docket. If they were to go down, would they play that game today? Can you confirm that? Because if so, I would actually motion for the time, the break, the mental break to refresh. But hey, maybe there is. Oh no, 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 no! What a sidestep out there out of bounds. Cause they got more. I was gonna say, or if there is a situation where to keep yourself warm for that eventual opponent, then maybe that's why they're still playing the game right now.
But so taking a look at bracket, we're in the quarterfinals, yeah, or the semis, excuse me, of the winner's side doing these. Then we'll be doing the second round of lower bracket. So we do need results from Lockmo Jr. and Neighbor. Winner of that will be playing the winner of UMYP and Jordu 2X. We'll be covering one of those matches right there. Obviously, with losers here dropping down to play against winners of that lower bracket. Loser of UMYP Jordu and loser of Lockmo Jr. and Neighbor will be done. They'll be the first to exit from this competition, unfortunately. And having such a great time commentating all of these players. What I guess UMYP and Jordy specifically, Neighbor plenty as well. Juixetae as of right now. Noah on the top side of the bracket, we've seen them plenty as well as Brees Hall takes a pitch to the right side. Now that's 2 jukes and extra yardage here for Juixetae and the New York Jets.
Yeah, could be one juke too many. I was like, oh man, please don't fumble the ball there. That's the last thing you want to be down by so many and just have that ball pop out. But definitely some good juke action. It was also done.
Uzoma, big man, grabbing this one, number 87, bringing this up to a first down plus some. You really can't use any extra time on this. You need every single second. You need 7 right here. You need an onside kick recovery after that, and that's just for a 1 score difference. Rogers doesn't find it. Clock is running here, people.
Just flailing about for Aaron Rodgers. It's interesting how he's not getting the benefit of the pop out football. He's definitely losing the yards now and downs as well.
Gotta agree with you. This is something that what Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes doing, as if by second nature, as soon as a player got in. Not the same situation here for Aaron Rodgers. Lazard tries with a gallop right here, a little jump play right on over. Not gonna happen.
What a collision. That could snap an IT band. Did you see that? Like, just going jump sideways, just get stopped.
So here's another question for you. If say you go back much farther, do you just try and yeah, man, that's going to be almost that situation. Now, this is such decision time. This is just a quick hook play to the inside to try and make this 9 yards, right? Like you don't really have to get fancy with this. And Brees Hall running has just not been working.
No, I would do the hook play only because the defense is so good. See, other position is not much of a free pass. You would have to shoot over, and it didn't happen. Yeah, that would be the play, but it was in traffic, and we now ourselves a concession. Didn't work out for them. We have a 2 game straight win for Luke Plays LAX.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's just not enough time to come back over 3 scores on top. Take this one down to the bottom. There's still a little bit low bracket to be played on the day here. Novanta obviously will be finishing out everything going up into the grand finals today and tomorrow. But we are officially 2/3 the way through this broadcast. Winner of the second round of the losers bracket coming in here from us in just a little bit. We talked about like minor mistakes and stuff like this, and Juixetae wasn't really making many offensive mistakes. It was just pretty much on the defense. There's just so many blown coverages and moderate to maximum level plays getting tossed out by Patrick Mahomes and Luke Plays. It just became insurmountable after a couple of them, really.
Yeah, it was one of the situations where, yeah, there was an interception there, and that was kind of a blemish, but a lot of the stuff comes down to just having hands on balls that couldn't bring it down. So the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, they still have a job next week or next round. But the players themselves have to get back into the gym because that was just unfortunate to watch.
Gotta agree with you. Gotta agree with you. 35-14 win here in game number 2. Much, much farther away than a 37-34 OT win for Luke Plays LAX. And in the first game of this best of 3, we're gonna go to a very short break. We'll be figuring out these games and which players we'll be seeing next in the second round of our lower bracket here in just a little bit.